Hey there, YouTube. We are getting packed and ready for a long road trip out west, going from Tennessee all the way to Nevada and back, probably about 6,000 miles. Probably 2/3 of that will be boondocking. So I got a bunch of stuff packed up in the camper, a bunch of stuff packed up in the truck. I figured I'd make a video and kind of show you what I got packed up. I don't know, I made one of these last year when we did this trip and some people liked it. So I figured, what the heck, I'll make another one this year too. So here we go, let me show you. Starting off with the bed of this truck. I am proud of how I got this all organized in here. There's been a lot of thought put into the way these things are all arranged and fit together. So like I said, I'll be boondocking quite a bit. So I got some extra water containers. These will be empty until I need to fill them up. But 15 gallons of water and then 10 gallons of gas. There'll be a portion of my trip out in Utah where I'll be 90 miles from a gas station, and there's some things I want to try to see in that part of the desert. So I'll need to have some reserve tanks for gas. Got my carpet. I don't put that carpet out very often, but if I'm staying in one spot for a couple nights, I'll probably roll that out. Winter jacket, extra bottles of water. That's a fold-out chair, one of those camp chairs, typical things. I've had that camp chair probably for 20 years now. I got a Blue Eddy. It's just a little bit of a backup power in case something goes bad with the solar setup, or I just need some extra juice. In that red tote, I'm not going to open it because it's too much of a pain. But in there, I've got all kind of emergency recovery stuff. So I've got extra flashlights, I got a jack, I've got tow straps for my truck, all that kind of stuff that it's way tucked back there. This is part of the logic. It's tucked back there because hopefully I'll never even need to use it. But it's there if I need it. I got the power supply for the Blue Eddy on top of that because heaven forbid if some water gets in the bed of this truck, I don't want that to get wet. So that's on top of the tote there in the center. 2 funnels. Gray one is for filling up my gas tank in my truck. The white one is for filling up the generator, which is right there. There's my generator. The reason the generator is in the center is because I don't think I'm going to need to use it on this trip unless it gets really hot and I need to run the air conditioning. But it's in the center because if I'm in a rainstorm and I got to flip this thing open and get something out of the front here, I don't want whatever's in the front to get wet. So the sensitive stuff to water, I put towards the back. But anyways, that's what that white funnel was for, is to fill up the generator. It's got gas in it already. Back there, you'll see a push broom. Sometimes I get to a site where I need to brush stuff off a little bit, so I got that. And then behind the generator, see if I can show you that, I got some work clothes back there. There's a pair of overalls and an old, I don't know, kind of like a fireman's jacket sort of a thing. I got some cleanup to do out on my property in Utah. There's a trailer frame that I need to cut into pieces. It's like a 25-foot trailer. I got to cut it into segments. And that's what those clothes are for, but then that's also what these power tools are for. I got a reciprocating saw in there with about 12 new blades for metal cutting that hopefully I don't lose a limb or something like that in the process of chopping up this trailer to dispose of it. It's, like I said, it's 90 minutes away from anything else. I can't find anyone to take it away, so that's my plan with that. Power tools are there for that. Got my grill. I very rarely cook outside. I know a lot of people when they camp, they prefer to cook outside. I actually like to cook in my trailer, but I do have that grill just in case I want to cook outside or there's a problem with the propane in my camper or something like that. 2 bundles of firewood. This is just miscellaneous stuff, and this is towards the front because I might need this stuff more often. Another jack there for my trailer in case I need it, an extra set of wheel chocks, extension cords, some of that sterno stuff, the gel for starting a fire. I'm going to be gone for 16 days, so it'll be just over 2 weeks, and that's why there's laundry supplies there. And that's an extra drone. I got a backup drone in case I crash my normal drone. I got an extra one there. 2 extra gallons of water. That's a little fold-out camping table, like a little end table sort of thing. Bungee cords. That's the bed of this truck, but this is very strategic. It may not seem it, but it is. This backflip does not let water in very often. It has to rain really hard at just a certain angle to get water in the back of this thing. So that does a good job. But in case I do need to open up to get something out, the more important stuff, you know, the more frequently used stuff is going to be towards the front. This tote here with the emergency stuff is very heavy. So I try to get the heavier stuff, generator, water, towards the either on the axle or in front of the axle. When these things are filled up, I mean, this is a couple 100 pounds right here behind the axle, which is not what you want. The tongue weight of my trailer is, oh man, I forget. It's like 300 some pounds. I forget what it is, but I've had it weighed just recently. With all the extra weight here, that's a lot of weight on the back side behind the axle. So I'm trying to balance it out as well as I can. That's like 5 minutes just talking about the bed of this truck. This is going to be a long video. Accept my apologies in advance. So this is Ricky's little cabin here as we're driving. He's got ventilation here because the rear vents come out, so he'll get warm or cold air if necessary. His leash. And then I got an extra small, like a fanny pack backpack, water, shoes, umbrella, and you could fit all kind of stuff all the way down through there, which is pretty nice. You're going to see a trend of water everywhere. Got lots of water. So much water. It's hard to believe that I used to just drink soda all the time. Like when I was in my 20s or 30s, instead of all these water bottles, this would all be like Monsters and all that terrible stuff. But just very quickly in here, I got this tire pressure monitor. It's turned off right now. But this is good because it measures the tire pressure of my trailer, and it gives you an alert if they get too hot or if the pressure goes down. So that's really handy to have. I got my backup camera there, or my, yeah, I guess it's my rear view camera that goes to the trailer as well. So I could see behind there. My normal screen, of course, for everything else. And then up there is a mount for an action camera. So I'm going to try to get some better video footage this time. If you watch the Ricky Goes West videos in the past, I've been getting a little bit better each time I do them. I'm going to try to make this one even better than the last time so I could get some more footage as where I'm driving and stuff like that. Then I also have one of those that's a magnet that I could put on the outside and maybe get some shots of the trailer, you know, as I'm going down the road from on top of the truck or something like that. So that's the plan with all that. All right, and I do have still the Anderson weight distribution / no sway hitch setup. I bought this right after I got the trailer originally, so it's going on 4 years with this thing. I like it quite a bit. I use it, I don't really need it with the truck I have now. When I had my 4Runner, it was more necessary. The truck does fine, but I like it because it's just an extra bit of stuff. Like if somebody wanted to steal this trailer, they would have to kind of deal with that. Either cut the chains or find somewhere to keep them from dragging. It'll make a whole bunch of noise. So it's almost like a little bit of a theft deterrent. And it does help with sway. I've been going across the Midwest through Nebraska and stuff like that. Kansas, it's pretty rough sometimes. So it's a nice thing to have. But I like having that Anderson hitch. It's done great for me. I've got two 20-pound propane tanks. And then you may have seen my video, but inside this new box, there are two 6-volt batteries. So I got a dual battery setup. This will be the first trip that I'll be able to do some boondocking with those new batteries, which is good. And then I added a cable here on the outside to connect my solar panels to, so I don't have to take everything apart. My solar panels will just plug right into that. I do not have solar on my roof. I certainly wish I did, but when I got this trailer, that wasn't an option. So now adding that extra battery, 2 batteries on the front, has certainly increased my tongue weight of this trailer. So I had it weighed at the CAT scale a few months back just to make sure I'm okay. I had to remove some stuff out of the front storage. Normally I would have a whole bunch of extra stuff in here, but I don't want to put too much weight on the tongue. I want to try to keep it to 15–20% tongue weight. And I'm right at like 20% as it is. So this will help keep things balanced. But I do have the heaviest thing in here is going to be the solar panels that fold out. They're 100-watt panels. And that's sufficient for me, for what I do. It's just me and the dog, so I don't use as much electricity as a family might. And then this water tank, it's the, 2/3 full. And I usually do kind of take it out 2/3 full. Unless I'm going to be way out in the middle of nowhere for a period of time, then I'll fill it up completely. So that adds some weight. This is a pump for that. So those water containers you saw in the bed of the truck, this is a battery operated pump that lets me fill up my reserve tanks without having to hold the 5 gallons and so forth. So this is helpful. And then inside this tote, I've got a funnel in case the batteries go dead in the pump. Here, let me show you. Because there was somebody online was asking about this at one point, and I never showed anybody what I made. But so I got like 2 different funnels, and I put them together. This is a flexible one, and then this is just like a standard funnel, and I taped them up. It doesn't matter that it's taped really, but my batteries went dead, or that electric pump died. I put this in here like that and it stays. So I could use both hands to pour water. It still splashes there. You got to be kind of you know, careful with it, but that's what that's for. So I got that in here just in case. Got another extension cord, an extra dish for Ricky. There's Ricky's leash, because if I'm at a campground, of course I will make sure my dog is restrained. I'm not one of those people, especially with Ricky, because he'll eat children. And then this is for my water tank. So I'm going to be in Wyoming up at about 10,000 feet elevation in the beginning of October. It's very likely that I'll be in sub-freezing temperatures for quite a while. And I've got this whole thing rigged up here now with this water heater and what I've got videos on it. I can't get into it all now. This video is already too long. But I've got this rigged up where this will stay warm throughout the winter. But just in case I need to drain the water heater, this socket is the right size for that. And I just have this whole thing here in case I need it. And some extra batteries for that pump I told you about. So that's what's in this little tote. This is pretty, this is a new addition here. So I got a trail cam. I'm always curious what's crawling around my camper when I'm away. So if I go on some hike and I'm gone for the entire day, I might want to see, I'm not worried about people. I'm more curious about animals snooping around. So I got this trail cam and it's solar powered. It charges by USB as well, but you could leave it out as long as it's in the sun, it'll get solar powered. So this way I could see if something's snooping around my trailer or something like that or whatever. I'll have some footage of that. So that's that. Let me go on the other side and show you over there real quick. I say real quick, none of this is quick. But you're watching it, so if you're still watching it, you must be interested. This is the inverter for my battery setup. Got a whole video on this whole rigmarole with this. But that feeds an outlet on the inside of the trailer. Through those wires that go up way on the other corner. There's an outlet over there. You can probably see by the light. But anyways, these blocks are my favorite kind of blocks because they don't take up a lot of space and they're certainly sturdy enough. I've got 2 packs of these. There's one here, another one, and then behind them is the little sewer hose thing that makes it, I don't know, what is the name for that? If you have one, you know what I'm talking about. It keeps everything going downhill, right? Wheel chocks here as well. And then I have a manual jack in the front. I don't like the power jacks, for one, because they're noisy, and for two, it's just one more thing to drain my battery. So I've got this thing here for that. I could use this for my leveling jacks as well, but I have a drill that I put on the leveling jacks. I just got done telling you I don't like a manual jack because it's noisy, and a power drill on these things is like 10 times as loud as the jack on the front, but my drill was not strong enough to raise and lower the trailer. I just never bought a better drill, I guess. Yeah, these things make a racket. If I'm at a campground and I leave early, I'm the first guy out of there every morning, and I'm sure I'm irritating a lot of people. And if I ever irritated you with raising and lowering anything, and they're rusty too, so they make even more screechy sounds as they go up and down. If I irritated you in the morning, accept my apologies ahead of time. And then in this guy here, I'm not taking this out of here, but I've got another wheel chocks. I got the little red thing that goes under the jack in the front, you know, so it doesn't have to touch the ground, and my drill is in there. And then in that other one way back there is my water hose. I got 2 water hoses actually. So I've got 2 water hoses in there. Then I'll show you what's in that bin that you see those colorful things in. I'll show you that from the inside. All right, that's this side of the pass-through storage. Sometimes I think this dog is part reptile, laying on this. It's like 90 degrees here in Tennessee right now, and he's laying on this hot gravel. That cannot be comfortable, but that's what he does. Coming around the back of the trailer, I've got my sewer hoses in there. I've got 2 of them all tucked in, which is good. And then talking about this spare tire, I made a video about this recently, how this thing snapped and it was wobbling and ready to fall off and probably hurt somebody or kill somebody on the road. I ended up fixing it like I showed you in the video, but then I also added a second bolt. I got 1 bolt there at the bottom where there was a pin, and then another bolt at the top. So this thing does not move now. I was going to weld it, but this is as good as welded as far as I'm concerned. No rattling or anything. It's not going anywhere, and I'll just keep an eye on it as I travel. I ended up replacing this window in the door. And nothing wrong with the window that was there, but I wanted one with a shade. It had that frosted sort of stuff, and I actually like the shade because it gives me a way to kind of peek out at people. So let me show you what I'm talking about. But this thing goes up, so if I want to block the sun, I got full blockage of sun, right? But if I just want to peek out from the inside, let's say some rangers knocking at my door, which sometimes the rangers knock on my door, I'll be able to look out and see through that little crack. You probably can't even see it because of the way it's tinted. Me being down below like this, like I'm looking up and I can't see anything inside there because of that shade. That's all I could see. So that's pretty handy for looking out without being able to look in. That was a very, very easy job. I thought this would be a big production, but this was like 30 minutes. I did this on a whim and it went way smoother than I expected. Let's go inside. I'll show you what I got packed up inside. I am completely loaded up other than food. I got to wait a couple days to put food in the fridge. So the fridge is empty, but I want to show you something. This fridge is a propane. It's propane and electric, but it's not a 12-volt fridge. So when I'm driving down the road, I don't like to drive with the propane on. I do use the propane when I'm boondocking to keep everything cold. So what I do though when I'm driving down the road, because I might be driving 7, 8, 9 hours a day, ice packs. So I'll have these frozen. I got these little flexible ones here, and then I got the 2 big ones here. I'll freeze these up and then I'll put these in the fridge. So that way I keep the stuff in the fridge cold. But check this out. I've never seen these before. Like, look at this thing. You're wondering like, what in the world is that? What you do is you put this in a sink of water. And there's like a little powdery substance in there, you can kind of see if you look through the translucentness of it. That stuff that's at powder turns to a solid, like a gel. And then these things inflate like a normal ice pack. And then you freeze it. So what's nice about them is you cut them to shape. They come in a big sheet and you cut them the size that you want. So I got a whole bunch of these. I won't need all of these, but in my fridge, what I can do is layer my food. So I could have like meat, and then I'll put one of those right on top of the meat, and then salads and one right on top of the salads. You know what I'm saying? And I could even stuff them in these little side parts here as well, which is pretty neat. So my first time using these, I'll let you know if they work. I think they'll work just fine though. I think that's a good idea. And then I got a thermometer in the fridge also, because sometimes when I get higher up in elevation, the propane doesn't work as well as it does in lower elevation. So I just like to keep an eye on making sure nothing in this fridge gets like up close to 40 degrees or warmer. You know, I want to keep it below 40. So that's why I have that. And then I also take this outside sometimes. I'm kind of curious how cold it is outside, so I can put that outside as well. Pretty neat. But let's go into the bathroom here. So I don't have mice. But I keep that thing in here because it catches all the spiders and stuff like that. I don't camp in the summertime, so bugs end up making their way in here in the summer. Why do I have 4 gallons of water next to the toilet, you might be wondering? Well, I told you about all the extra tongue weight because of those batteries, right? So to keep that tongue weight at right around that 15-20% of the trailer weight and keeping the entire trailer under 3,500 pounds, I had to add some weight behind the axle of this trailer. So the axle is pretty much underneath this table. That's what that little cutout is for right there. So that's the wheel, and it kind of extends into there a little bit. So I had to put some weight behind the axle to kind of balance that out. All the stuff that's down there, toilet paper, toothpaste, pills, all that kind of stuff, ends up on this rack here. I'm going to place for towels if I need it. And then this footstool goes, I'm not a short guy. Really, I'm not a short guy. A lot of people say they're not short, and then you see them in person and they're like a hobbit or something. I'm not a tall guy. I'm 5'10". I'm a normal, average-sized dude. But I cannot sit on this toilet without my feet going numb from dangling down there. They put this toilet on this little riser because of how the black tank is directly under the toilet. It's literally under the toilet. So they needed some extra space to get the drain to work. And that's fine. But I got to put the step stool down there where that water goes. So when I get set up, I take that water and it goes over on one of the dinette benches or underneath maybe or something like that. And then this step stool goes down there by the toilet. It's embarrassing. Of all the things to be humiliated about as an adult, that's a weird thing to admit, to use a little toddler stool, but I do. And then in the shower, I got one of these things here. I saw somebody, I think it was RV Miles, the guys on RV Miles, the guy and his wife. Oh shoot, I feel bad for forgetting his name. But they do all those different trailer reviews, and they recommended this thing, and I got this about a year and a half ago, and it's been really good for shower stuff. So that's the bathroom. Kitchen area. You've seen these. But these were like a new contraption at one point, but now they're pretty common. Everybody has one. But plug that in and it takes care of the bugs. I got to have shore power for that outlet to work, but that's okay. Stuff in the sink. Trash can goes underneath here. So I don't put any storage stuff down here because of the way I got these water lines routed. I don't want anything bumping up against those as I'm going down the road. Nothing's pressurized as I drive, but at the same time, I just don't want... I put so much work into doing all this plumbing that I don't want that to happen. Water heater here as well. So nothing goes back down in there. But I do have towels and stuff like that here. I never used to cook with spices. Like I just ate things as they came. And typically I used to just eat whatever came out of a box or a bag or something. But I got the garlic powder and paprika. So sometimes I want to spice stuff up, salt and pepper. Oven. This helps even the heat out because that burner more or less just comes right in the middle. But this whole thing gets hot. So if you're cooking something in your oven, which I do all the time, if I'm out here for 16 days, I'll probably use this oven 8 or 9 times throughout that. I like this oven a lot. That makes it cook evenly. So if you have trouble in your camper oven and you don't think it cooks well for you, get one of those stones. Microwave. I'm getting really in the weeds with these details, but I do not use the little spinny thing that goes on that because that just rattles around and I think it's going to bust. It's made out of glass. So if I use the microwave when I camp, which I don't very often, but if I do, I just manually turn it around like the 1980s before they had those things. I've never used this thing since I got the camper. Like the first week I turned this on and it was terrible. I never turned it on again. So this is where I'll keep some dry food. I'm going to put some more stuff in here as we get closer, but I live next to this Mennonite / Amish grocery store, and this kind of rice is really good. It's got corn and stuff in it, and then yeah, I got a rice cooker. So, and I can use this rice cooker when I'm boondocking because of the new battery setup I have. So I could cook rice fancy ways when I'm out. I got a Keurig, which I can also now use because of these batteries. Before I could never have coffee when I'm boondocking unless I made it on a campfire or something. But I can now with a Keurig. This thing here, I got this little Bluetooth, you can call it a radio because it does have a radio on it. But it plays music from my phone, or it has a little SD card. And it does have an AM/FM radio. I got this from my sister for Christmas a few years back. And I like this a lot. And it's battery powered, so you just charge it up, and rather than using this terrible thing and bothering people with your exterior speakers, this is nice because I control it. You know, I can take it where I want to take it, so it doesn't have to be super loud or anything like that. Okay, that's the kitchen. This is going to be like Lord of the Rings by the time I'm done with it. It's going to be a 3-hour epic in 3 parts. Under storage, I made these drawers way back when. So this one here, this is the heavy one. And again, it's heavy because I got it behind the axle. I rearranged all this stuff to balance the weight a little bit more. In this binder, I have all the instruction manuals. I got a notepad in case I get bored and I want to write something when I'm out. Any paper-related stuff is in here. I got a little space heater, which I do use sometimes in the winter when I'm on shore power to save on propane. I got a infrared thermometer, extra hoses, a whole bunch of extra fittings, and then just a general tool bag where I got a hammer, screwdriver, scissors. I forget what this is for here. I don't even know why I have that. Duct tape, all the stuff that I might need to fix things on the go, and then a fire extinguisher as well. Fire extinguisher on this trailer used to be right here, and it's one of those things that you bump into all the time, so I removed it and put it in the drawer. And then on this side of the dinette, I got another drawer. This one has the lighter stuff in it. So I got an electric fan, which I can use off my batteries now, which is nice. Vacuum, I could also use, little broom thing there. Dustpan. Hair dryer. Why in the world does this guy have a hair dryer? He doesn't look like the salon sort of guy, and I'm not. But if anything ever freezes outside around my drains and stuff like that, then I have a way to thaw it out. But I've got all that. I got a system for that now. I really do have a system for that I don't think I ever need to use that hairdryer. I got pipe insulation in case I need to wrap that around, an extra shower head back there. This pass-through storage here under the bed. I told you about those colorful things inside. Well, this is Ricky's bin. So this dog has no idea how good he's got it. So I got all these raw hides in this thing here, dog toys, in case he gets restless if it's raining or something. And then look at all this food. Why do I have all this food in bags that's sealed like this? Well, I'm going to be in bear country, and I don't want anything. They could smell through this. I know they can. But here's the thing. This is just give me a second. These ones on top are in individual bags, right? Well, that's because I'll be in Missouri, I'll be in Nebraska, I'll be in parts of the country where there aren't bears. But then you get down, by the time I get to Wyoming, I've got all those little bags in big bags. And they probably won't be able to smell through a double bagged thing of dog food. And that's why these raw hides are in this bag too. So sealed once, sealed twice. Hopefully, nothing is bear proof, I guess, but bear resistant is the plan with all that. So this is Ricky's little bin. He gets excited. Anytime I open up his door and he's camping with me, he freaks out because he knows I'm getting something for him out of this little bin. We're nearing the end of this video, I could already tell. So here's the bed. You can call this the bedroom if you want. So first thing, I got a TV here. There's a video about how I put the TV here, why I put it here, yada, yada, yada. It has like a reticulating arm that comes out. And that arm has little things that you turn to lock it into place. And then those little locking things worked great for the first, I don't know, 2 years or something. But now they don't hold it in place anymore. So they're loose, and rather than buy a whole nother thing, I got these straps on Amazon. So these straps mount to the wall behind the TV. And if you've got a trailer with a TV, yours probably came with something like this already. This is probably nothing new to you, but that helps keep this thing from moving very much as I'm going down the road. So that's good. TV used to, there's a wire there that goes in behind the microwave. It used to be plugged in there, but now I've got this outlet that I told you about down here. This little silver thing opens up, and it's dark. You can't see it so well, but there's an outlet there. And that's how I turn on my inverter with this button here. So I turn on the inverter, that energizes that outlet as well as the outlet that is below it on the pass-through storage that I showed you previously. And that's how I can cook rice, make coffee, run my TV for hours and hours and hours with these batteries. It's pretty darn good. Got my extra jacket, blankets here, thing for reading or writing or something if I want to lean against that. Bed is just the bed as normal, nothing too special there. This little thing here, this used to be a wireless charger. No, this used to be the wireless charger, but it got so hot that it seemed like a danger. So I snipped the wire, but I still use it because it's got a place for me to put my eyeglasses, my phone or whatever, remote control, whatever I want. It's right here, and it doesn't interfere with sitting in this seat very much either. But when I do charge I put this under here so it doesn't flop around, but that's my wireless charger for my phone. Okay, above the bed, I got all these things in here. Let me show you this one first. I can't open it too well because of that TV. I have to unstrap the TV to move it to get in there, but there's not much you need to see back there. There's an electric blanket. If I've got shore power, I wouldn't want to waste my batteries on an electric blanket, but there's an electric blanket. There's a mirror down there, which I don't really shave or anything when I'm camping, but if I needed to. And then 1 million Walmart bags. And this one, 1 million more Walmart bags, winter hat, winter gloves. Hopefully I won't need those. Bunch of paper towels, there's stuff back there, toilet paper. Then I got clothes in these bins here. So I got 3 of these. They're not the biggest bins, but it's big enough for me. So all my clothing goes up here. And again, all of this, I weighed these clothes. They weigh about 22 pounds. So with everything else that's here, I probably got about 30 pounds worth of stuff that's contributing to that tongue weight, which also explains why I had to move some stuff behind the axle. Hopefully that makes sense. This should be the last stop on this tour here, the cabinets above the dinette. So I've got 2 cabinets up here, and this is where I keep all of the cooking related stuff. I've got some cleaning supplies, I got some medical stuff, I got a little medicine kit and bandages and stuff back there. These are the things that go in your black tank to keep the stuff from smelling bad or whatever. Bowls, plates, more plates behind that, cutting board, cups, and then pots and pans on this side here. I try not to put anything that's excessively heavy up here because I know that these things are made, they could be made well and they could not be made so well, and I just don't want a whole lot of weight this high, you know, that could possibly fall down. When I bought the trailer, they do the little walkthrough or whatever, and the guy that did the walkthrough from the dealership, he said that he had some customer that was into canning. She would camp and can like fruits and vegetables and had the whole thing loaded up with cans, and the whole thing just crashed down because of the weight. So if I've got 30 pounds there, this one here has less than that. I bet you all this stuff, because it's all thin, is probably 20 pounds of weight up here. I forgot one more thing, this little drawer here. So this green bungee, these doors sometimes come open, right? So that bungee goes around the doorknobs and everything, and it keeps all three of these doors in this drawer from opening as I'm driving. But inside there I got silverware and a lot of plasticware because I don't want to waste water when I'm boondocking to do dishes. So I'd rather have extra trash than run out of water. But that's what all that stuff is for inside there. This is for my rice cooker. Look at that. Even a special thing like at a Chinese restaurant. I got one of those things for the rice. All right, that's it. You watched the whole thing. If you got this far, you're something special. I'm leaving in a few days. Hopefully everything goes smoothly. Hopefully I get a lot of videos. I haven't put any videos about camping and stuff for most of the year, really. So hopefully I'll be staying at some new places, or there'll be something worth filming for you guys. And I'm sure there will be a Ricky Goes West 2025 video that'll be like a compilation of different stuff. But all of that's way in the future. But thanks for watching this. If you have any questions about what I got going on here, or any suggestions of ways to pack all this sort of stuff in a more efficient manner, I'm all for it, because half the fun of taking these long trips is all the planning and stuff. For me, I really, really enjoy. If you saw my itinerary, I'm not going to show it to you because you might find me and kill me or something, but I'm going to all these places and I got it lined up like I'm a travel agent. Like, I'm really impressed with myself for how well I put all this together, and I enjoy it. I really, really enjoy all the planning and the packing and the figuring stuff out and so forth. So anyways, I'm rambling. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.